Well, hello, folks. We are serving camps, and we are going to be showing you some dash cam footage as well as some other footage that we took. We have been in the process of transitioning from Michigan to Minnesota, as we've been said, and we are now in Minnesota.
So one of our favorite places to boondock is Cracker Barrel because they usually have a fairly large parking lot. So this is us pulling into Cracker Barrel in Madison, Wisconsin.
After we left Madison, we went ahead and traveled across I-90 through Wisconsin towards Minnesota as we were traveling. And one of the things that was taking place in Minnesota at this time, as most Minnesotans know, was the large amount of rain that fell in northern Minnesota and throughout Minnesota, which caused both the Mississippi and the Minnesota and its tributaries to overflow their banks and to cause a lot of flooding throughout the area, both in the Minneapolis area as well as St. Paul. And so this scene that we're seeing right now is as we're coming across, going towards the border of Wisconsin and Minnesota, and at this point coming up here, we're coming up to a rest area to where we'll come off and have lunch. And then after that, we make our way towards the campground that we'll be staying at, and will be scenes that you'll see later.
So when we're transitioning, we always like to build in some downtime. Transitioning can be kind of stressful with a lot of driving, and so being that Steve does the majority of the driving, we like to give downtime for rest and relaxation. Also, going into transition months can be stressful depending on how many people we're visiting and that. So we took the time a few days before the 4th to just relax, recharge. And this is the campground in southern Minnesota that we're pulling into. So we mentioned before that we have different memberships to different campgrounds and campground groups, and this is actually a coast-to-coast campground. It's called Hidden Bluffs. It's in Spring Grove, Minnesota, and it was great because they had really good Wi-Fi but no cell phone service.
It's a little bit bumpy, but you can see by the picture in front of you, video, that while we were down in the southeast portion of Minnesota, Minnesota does have a lot of paved and unpaved bike paths. This one happens to run between Harmony, Minnesota and Houston, Minnesota. It's about 46 miles long. We did not do the 46 miles. We did between Lanesboro and Wayland and Lanesboro, sorry. But it is a very good place to do your biking if you desire to ride bikes.
So these little videos are a bit about the floodwaters that are happening along the Minnesota River. This is just a close-up of a path, and then that's the whole river there, where you can see it's pretty high. So on the 4th of July, we went from our campground in southern Minnesota heading towards Minneapolis. We boondocked in Owatonna, Minnesota at the Cabela's, and we went to see the fireworks while we were there. This is just a little bit of it.
You said we needed a closing, so is this good for a closing? It's good for a blooper.
Thanks everyone for watching. This was our past week, the 4th of July week, and we'll keep you filled in on the rest of our transition. Thanks
for being with us.
Yep. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and share us with your friends. Okay, stop.